Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to today's live reading from Ramayana, the story of Lord Ram. We are on Kishkindhya Kanda at the moment. For 4 months, Ram and Lakshman dwelt within a mountain cave, feeling intense separation from Sita. Ram could not find any pleasure in the scenic beauty of the mountainous region. He was able to sleep at night and constantly shed tears of anguish. One day Ram said to Lakshman, after evaporating water from the ocean for 9 months, the sky now sends forth heavy showers of rain. Dark clouds as large as hills range across the sky in clusters, creating a mood of melancholy. The golden lightning, as it streaks inside the blackish monsoon clouds, appears like Sita in the arms of Ravan. The lush green grass, spotted with various flowers and restless birds, provides a colorful dress for Mother Earth. Bees are humming, frogs are croaking, and the rumble of the thunder and patter of the rain provide musical accompaniment. Surely Sugriv is able to enjoy all this, for his objective has been fulfilled. But without Sita, I am like a river bank that erodes from the river's constant current. Lakshman would try to encourage Ram, pointing out that the purpose of a grieving man was never fulfilled. Regardless, the dark skies and frequent rains that nourished the tropical jungle only intensified Ram's longing for Sita. Ram assumed that when he had helped Sugriv to regain his kingdom, Sugriv would remember his obligation to assist him and find Sita. But when autumn arrived and the skies became clear, Sugriv did not come forward to meet Ram. Having achieved his goal and now without cause for fear, Sugriv had begun to spend his time completely absorbed in enjoying the company of young women in private, especially his wife Rama and the newly acquired Tara. Thus, he even neglected to fulfill the obligation of managing the state administration. When Hanuman saw how Sugriv had become slave to the sensuality and thereby becoming negligent in his duty, he approached the king and advised, "You must keep your promise and fulfill your obligation to Ram. Only out of respect for you has Ram not only personally come here to remind you. However, you must remember that it is only by his grace that you have been allowed to prosper. It is now time for you to summon the more than 10 million monkeys under your command and begin an all-round search for Sita." Hanuman's speech momentarily brought Sugriv back to his senses. Sugriv then called Neel and ordered, Let my proclamation be broadcast to all the monkey warriors. All must proceed here for duty within 15 days. Or else face the death sentence." Giving his command, Sugriv returned to his inner apartments. The beauty of autumn only heightened Ram's anguish in separation from Sita. When he could understand that Sugriv was simply wallowing in life of sensuality, Ram became yet more depressed. Lakshman also became despondent from witnessing Ram's grief and tried his best to cheer him up. One day Rama decided, now that autumn has arrived, the ground is dry and firm, the air crisp and cool, this is the perfect time to initiate a military campaign. Unfortunately, Sugriv is not to be seen. It seems that he has forgotten all sense of duty, being fully absorbed in the pleasure of association of women. Therefore, Lakshman, I want you to go to Kishkindhya and admonish Sugriv in my name, saying, "O king of the monkeys, one who acts like you is the most vile of persons. I am astonished that you are not afraid of neglecting Ram, the slayer of your elder brother. I hereby warn you that if you neglect your promise to help Ram find Sita, then he will personally come to Kishkindhya and kill you along with all your relatives." When Ram exhibited his anger born of intense transcendental frustration, Lakshman also became incited with rage. Picking up his bow, Lakshman declared, "If that rascal Sugriv does not jump to execute your command, then I shall kill him myself this very day." As Lakshman quickly departed, Ram tried to restrain his brother's anger. "First speak to Sugriv in a conciliatory tone, for I am sure that it will be enough for him to come back to his senses. In a mood of great indignation, Lakshman entered Kishkindhya, a beautiful city built within a large cave. As he rushed like a mad elephant toward Sugriv's palace, Lakshman knocked down the trees that stood in his path. Then the many fierce monkeys guarding the palace entrance saw Lakshman approach. His lips trembling in rage, they began gathering weapons by uprooting the large trees and tearing down mountain peaks. When Lakshman saw the monkey guards arming themselves in this way, he became so ferocious that the monkey guards became panic-stricken and fearfully ran away. Sugriv's ministers rushed to Sugriv to inform him of Lakshman's arrival in such an angry mood. Sugriv, however, was fully absorbed in enjoying himself with the ladies. He did not pay much heed to his ministers. As the ministers ordered the monkeys to arm themselves in preparation for battle, the enraged Lakshman met Angad and told him to inform Sugriv of his arrival. At that, Angad went to Sugriv's chamber and, clasping his uncle's feet, informed him of Lakshman's presence. However, Sugriv had fallen asleep in a drunken state and he failed to arise. Only when numerous monkeys began to clamour loudly around Sugriv did he finally arise. Out of fear of Lakshman, Sugriv came to his palace gates in a highly agitated state. We urge you to go to him immediately and offer your obeisances and submit to him. Pray this will appease his anger. Having finally realized the gravity of the situation, Sugriv hastily arose from his bed, wondering why Lakshman would be angry with him. Hanuman then reminded Sugriv, "O king, due to becoming absorbed in sense gratification, you have not even noticed how the time has passed. Autumn has long since arrived, yet you have neglected to fulfill your promise to help Ram in his search for Sita. Lakshman has now come here to remind you. I suggest you approach him with folded hands and hope that you somehow may appease him." On Sugriv's order, Angad escorted Lakshman into the palace. All the monkeys who previously had taken up weapons now stood with folded hands to greet Lakshman. When Lakshman came to the inner apartments of Sugriv's palace, he could hear the voices of women singing to the accompaniment of musical instruments mixed with the jingling sound of their ornaments. Indeed, upon seeing all the young beautiful women, Lakshman became somewhat ashamed due to his vow to shun the company of others' wives. Although he restrained himself from entering, Lakshman announced his arrival by twanging his mighty bow. Sugriv trembled upon hearing that sound and told Tara, "I wonder why Lakshman is angry. I think it would be better for you to go out first and try to appease him." Tara came out before Lakshman. Her dress loosened and her eyes rolled in from intoxication. Lakshman's anger subsided and he humbly looked downward toward her feet out of respect. Tara then inquired, "My dear prince, why are you so angry with Sugriv?" Lakshman sharply replied, "Your husband has neglected his obligation to Ram, preferring instead to pass his days in the inner apartments dallying with women." Tara then pleaded to Lakshman, "You must forgive Sugriv, for he has lost his good intelligence under the sway of lust. Even great rishis sometimes hanker for sense gratification, what to speak of a fickle-minded monkey. Please do not think that Sugriv has forgotten his obligation to Ram. He has already called for millions of monkeys to assemble here to begin the search for Sita. Please come in and talk to Sugriv yourself." Lakshman entered the inner apartments of the palace. When he saw the fabulous opulence and bevies of beautiful women, his anger again became aroused. Sugriv was seated upon a couch embracing Rama. However, upon seeing Lakshman enter, he hurriedly stood up with folded hands, as did all the ladies present. Lakshman then chastised Sugriv, "You have simply made empty promises, proving yourself to be a false friend. Therefore, you are most abominable. One who receives help from a sincere friend and does not repay that service is considered hard-hearted and must be killed." Indeed, once when Lord Rama saw such an ungrateful person, he exclaimed, "The means of atonement has been prescribed for the killer of a cow, a drunkard, a thief, or for one who has broken a sacred vow. But there is no expiation for an ungrateful soul. I warn you, Sugriv, you do not begin helping Ram immediately, you will meet your brother Vali in the abode of Yamraj this very day. Tara then replied for her husband, O Lakshman, Sugriv is not a liar nor hard-hearted. He has not forgotten what Ram did for his sake. His only fault is losing all the sense of time because of overindulgence in sense gratification. We have heard that in Lanka, the abode of Ravan, there are 100,000 crores of Rakshasas. Since it would be possible to kill Ravan without slaying them first, Sugriv has summoned innumerable monkey warriors from all corners of the earth. He has not yet met with Ram or initiated the search for Sita because he is waiting for their arrival. Sugriv has set a 15-day time limit. Thus, thousands of monkeys, bears and baboons are expected to begin arriving at Kishkindhya this very day. Hearing this, Lakshman gave up his anger. Sugriv humbly threw aside his garland and said, I could never repay Ram for what he had done for me. He is my master, my lord. I will follow him wherever he goes and do whatever he orders. I fully admit that I was at fault and humbly beg your forgiveness. Please, Lakshman replied, kindly forgive my angry mood as well. I think it would be best for you to go now and see Ram. He will be encouraged by your sincerity. Sugriv then ordered Hanuman summon again all the monkeys from Himalayan, Mahendra, Mandar and Kailash mountains. Arouse all who are prone to sense indulgence and procrastination. Tell them that anyone who does not respond to my order within 10 days will be killed. Hanuman immediately dispatched the monkey leaders in all directions. Then, within the same hour, millions of monkeys began pouring into Kishkindhya. After presenting themselves to Sugriv, the monkeys were dismissed. Then Lakshman again requested Sugriv to go and meet with Ram. The Sugriv had a palanquin brought forth, and he and Lakshman were carried to Ram's dwelling, accompanied by innumerable monkeys. Thereafter, as Lakshman and Sugriv stood before Ram with folded hands, Ram gazed upon the army of monkeys with great pleasure. Sugriv then fell flat before Ram, submitting himself as fully surrendered soul at his lotus feet. Ram then mercifully lifted up Sugriv and embraced him without any trace of resentment for Sugriv's past negligence. After offering the monkey king a seat, Ram instructed Sugriv about the royal duties. The king should understand the proper time for dharma, arth, kam, and then enjoy life accordingly. When a king gives up the Vedic regulations, being overly attached to sense gratification, indulging himself irregularly, then he is considered fallen. Dear Sugriv, now is the time for you to endeavor to find Sita as you have already vowed. Sugriv replied, my dear Ram, please rest assured I am eager to help you, as are all monkeys who have assembled here. So we'll continue our reading from here onwards tomorrow. And Diwali fervor has begun among all the devotees and in all the nations who observe Diwali. So Lord Ram has again given us beautiful lessons in the reading which we have done today. Because Sugriv was the king of the monkeys, so even he was chastised by Hanumanji and Lakshman that he was letting his sense gratification take precedence over his promise, over the vow he had made to Lord Ram. So we all have a lesson hidden in this reading for us as well, that we should not be swayed by the instructions of our fickle monkey mind. It always wants easy way out. It wants to enjoy itself. It wants to keep us away from following a disciplined pattern of devotional service, and it doesn't want us to do our devotional service in a very orderly way. We should not submit to our mind all the time. It's okay to be a little bit carefree once in a while, but not all the time. Because if we start following the dictations of our mind, we already have got monkey minds and we'll become monkeys ourselves. Because we'll be copying whatever the society at large is doing, just eat, sleep, and be merry and happy. Soul wants to enjoy, soul wants to stay happy, soul wants to be always in bliss. But the bliss certainly comes in the devotional service. The bliss from the material life is only short-lived. You will eat, and then you'll get fed up after that when you start putting on weight. But if you eat prasad, you'll be regulating your hunger and your tongue. And by chanting, you'll be trying your best to regulate your speech, and your mind and your intelligence, they will follow the suit. They will try to help you. Of course, association is the key. As they say in the material world, a man is known by the company he keeps, and that applies to us in devotional life as well. So I'll wish you all a very happy day, and please keep offering the ghee lamps to Damodar. Tomorrow is the Damodar Leela day as well, which is the Diwali day. And of course, it is the homecoming of Lord Ram from to Ayodhya, along with his brother Hanumanji, and of course Sugriva and Vibhishan also came to drop him in the Pushpak plain. And let us try to illumine our lives with the devotional service, and yes, make sure that our ticket back to Godhead is confirmed. So with these words, I will take leave of you. Thanks for joining. See you soon. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.